with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound.
Welcome to the Black NewsBeat with your host, Dr. Kimeka Campbell.
Welcome to the Black NewsBeat, everybody. I'm so excited. It has been a crazy couple of months almost since I've seen you last. So I'm so excited to be back. We have a lot to talk about tonight. First, I'd like to say Happy Pride Teen. Yeah. Yes, it is still Pride Month for one more week, and there's a lot to celebrate. If you were with us the last show, we were prepping for Juneteenth, so we're going to talk about that tonight. Tonight is our Juneteenth recap show, and we have a lot to cover. Also, every show I do a national show, whatever the national day is today. And today happens to be National Coconut Day. Did y'all know that? I love coconut water only. I don't like coconut, the flesh, for some reason, freaks me out. Especially when they dry it, I'm not a fan. But coconut water, fresh coconut water from the coconut, my favorite thing. It is also National Parchment Paper Day. Does anybody still use parchment paper? That's an old-time thing, but it is the best to prevent freezer burn. It is also National Chocolate Pudding Day. If you are a foodie such as myself, I love food, but I don't like sweets. So National Chocolate Pudding, I'm gonna pass this time, but if you like chocolate pudding, you should definitely indulge this evening. Even though we're going on the tail end of the day, you should definitely indulge in National Chocolate Pudding Day. I'm gonna stick with coconut, particularly coconut water, but however you celebrate, go ahead and do that, okay? How's everybody doing? Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen everyone, and so much has happened. We last saw each other in May, a whole month ago. We went live for our Juneteenth commemorative event at the Pennsylvania State Museum with the governor. That was awesome, and I got a good story to tell about that. So I saw the governor at our commemorative Juneteenth event on June the 12th, and I said to Governor Shapiro, I said, listen, Harrisburg, don't sleep on us, okay? We have a full Juneteenth week coming up. And the governor said, well, I'll be there. I said, are you gonna be there? He said, yes. I said, all right. And so I didn't think anything of it. The night before, they said, hey, the governor's coming to your event. I'm sorry, what? And so we had to make sure we were prepared and get all the great stuff ready, get everything ready for the governor. And he showed up to our Juneteenth Jubilee event, and we were very thankful. Patty Kim came, so did our wonderful, big shout out to our wonderful honorary Juneteenth chair, Auditor General Tim DeFore. He did an excellent job. Well, let's clap it up for him. He did a great job all week. He was so wonderful. He was such a wonderful chair. Brought the history, brought the education, brought the entertainment, brought the fun with us. And so we're very thankful to have Tim this year serving with us. And we'll talk about that. We'll keep talking. So before we get into all of the local celebrations, let's sweep these streets. Before we sweep the streets, we have two folks that are going to join us on the stage. We have our Civic and Engagement Chair, April Ash, is here. Yeah. And our one of the other co-executive co-chairs of the Juneteenth HBG celebration is also here. Ms. Anna White's here. So we are going to talk through, and our other Juneteenth HBG executive co-chair is also here, but she is working on the show today. So Yanni is doing our house manager role tonight. Shout out to Yanni Williams. And well, I got to keep going. Bree's here. Yes. Bree makes my car. She's working the camera tonight. Shout out to Bree. We have Griff behind the counter. Hi, Bree. Hi, Griff. And then we also have, last but definitely not least, we have husband. Basia Vincent is here. All right. So that's the crew tonight. We welcome everybody to the show. And let's sweep these streets, though, first. Let's see what's going on in and around the world. Well, as you know, Juneteenth Harrisburg just concluded this past Friday. And unless you live under a rock or in a cave, or just don't care about anything at all, or dope, incredible, and fun, you may have missed all the amazing Juneteenth events that occurred last week throughout the city of Harrisburg. And I want to say, in addition to YPOC, other people were also celebrating and doing amazing events. Also, shout out to them. I really like, and I want to say that I really love that since Juneteenth became a federal holiday and a state holiday, people have really gotten into celebrating Juneteenth. And I'm very happy that that's happening, especially in the city of Harrisburg, in the state of Pennsylvania. Very important. Very important. Sponsored by, we had this year, Juneteenth HBG had over 40 sponsors. We're very happy. We worked with over 65 different organizations and businesses who vended. So it was a beautiful showing. Too much more to name on our show, but go onto the website and go onto the Facebook page. You're gonna see all the sponsors listed there. It was a time to be had. A week-long schedule of amazing events kicked off at XL Live with Jim Jones and Ghostface. Shout out to Yanni again. Not only was she the executive co-chair for Juneteenth HBG, she was also the chair of the concert. That's a tough job to do. And she did it with so much grace and style. It was amazing. She did a great job. A week-long schedule of events. We kicked it off at XL Live. We continued on into the week with the press conference. We had an Ode to Black Women, Black Arts Expo. We had the summit on Tuesday. We had the Jubilee on Wednesday, where the governor came, and I'm not gonna stop saying that. On Thursday, we had our Black Performance Arts mashup at Narcisse Theater. It was wonderful. And Friday, the piece de resistance. The Juneteenth at Soma block party, honey. If you missed it, you were missing. It was a time. It was really beautiful. And we're going to talk about some of our glows and grows from all those events. But this year was so lit, and it was nice to follow up. It was a wonderful follow-up from our, what I would like to say was our senior year of Juneteenth, of the 4th year. This is our 5th year. So we pulled off our 5th year. We're absolutely in grad school. We're hoping to get a doctorate in Juneteenth HBG at some point, okay? So to check out what we missed this year, check out JuneteenthHBG.com. Shout out to both 360, Hit the Angles 360 Media and Club King Films and Photography. They covered the whole week, and the pictures and the video are amazing. So check those out. They'll be on our website for everyone to enjoy. And we have to talk a little bit more about Juneteenth and Kendrick Lamar. Can we talk about Kendrick Lamar just for 1 second? I know it's been a long, I know the mean poetry contest ended, but Kendrick Lamar, in the best petty fashion I have seen in my entire life, hosted an entire disc concert. Can we talk about the epic, off-the-charts moment he displayed in LA last weekend? The true power of hip-hop's influence came in the form of a pop-out. One of the most iconic superstars in the music business, youngest genre, put on a fantastic performance for a video shoot, one which truly revealed to the world that they're not like us. So impressive, according to a quote given to TMZ, the Recording Academy CEO, Harvey Mason Jr. made claims that Kendrick's back and forth feud with Drake, which gave us some of Kendrick's best work, I do agree with that, may have introduced a new diss track category. Ooh, that is fair game for the Grammys. Wow. Listen, people said it doesn't pay to be petty, but doesn't it? Doesn't it pay? Talk about groundbreaking. But on another side of delivering a justifiable anthem for summer 2024, Kendrick managed to bring the Black community together and the gangs from all corners of LA, which was very important. They were all on stage together. It was a beautiful moment. He managed to bring the Black community together during Juneteenth in a way that has seemingly eluded us as of late, especially in light of all the gun violence that occurred, not just here in Harrisburg, but all over the country. And so, what if he allegedly brought streams? It's better than paying for funeral costs. And now we're going to move into media and melanin, because this is my favorite. We're going to talk a little bit about some other things that are happening. Cardi B and Offset have recently reconciled yet again. I don't even want to read this story, because it's just old news at this point. I know, it's everybody's Dominican princess. We got it. Okay. Sparking rumors that a new baby might be on the way. Ooh, I hope not. During her appearance at the 2024 Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards, Cardi accepted the Inspiration Award and didn't hold back. She addressed her critics with her signature flair, telling them to mind their business. Cardi also fired back at those who keep bringing up Offset's past infidelities. Okay, girl. Imagine Cardi B and Offset at the Ross and Rachel of the hip hop world. Will they? Won't they? Are they on a break? Cardi's acceptance speech was a perfect mix of inspiration and sass. She basically told the haters, if you ain't paying my bills, your opinion is irrelevant as a floppy disk in 2024. And to those dragging up Offset's old mistakes, she delivered a verbal smackdown. So while the Barty gang speculates on baby names, Cardi's just out here winning awards and living her best life. Interesting. On to the Fugees. Did y'all hear about this one?
Wait.
Did y'all hear about this?
What happened to the Fugees?
Listen, Lauryn Hill and the Fugees are back on tour. Celebrating 25 years of Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, The Score. Starting October 12th, the European leg will hit London, Manchester, Paris, and Amsterdam. If you're craving some 90s nostalgia or just need a break from reality, this tour is your golden ticket. General tickets go on sale Friday, June 28th. That's 2 days, y'all. Y'all ready? At 10 a.m. local time, according to Variety. Now for the plot twist. Hill had to cancel the tour's original dates in November due to a vocal strain and was prescribed a steroid for treatment. It's like a musical soap opera, but fear not, she's ready to hit the stage again. Grab your tickets and get ready for a journey back to the 90s with Hill and the Fugees. All right, I hope she shows up on time. Anyway, I have been to a couple Lauryn Hill concerts at this point where she didn't show up until 3 hours later, so let's see what happens. And one more Juneteenth story. Let's talk about it, because, baby, this show is all about celebrating what we accomplished for Juneteenth. Juneteenth, America's newest entry into the pantheon of holidays you can buy stuff for. This year, Juneteenth has joined the esteemed ranks of St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo. You know, those days where everyone suddenly discovers their hidden Irish or Mexican ancestry and celebrates with fervor that made a genealogy test blush. Now, big corporations are diving into Juneteenth with the same zeal. We've got Freedom Burgers, sizzling on the grill, and Emancipation Day sales, offering 20% off items. I think they should be free. If you're gonna do an Emancipation Day sale, free for black people. That should be the rule. All right. 20% off items that were probably already 20% off. It's true. It's a beautiful spectacle of capitalism at its finest. And let's not forget the merch. T-shirts emblazoned with slogans like, stay woke, buy more stuff, and freedom isn't free, but it's on sale today. It's as if we're turning a significant historical milestone into a shopping spree with a side of performative allyship. Who knew liberation could be so marketable and costly? And the thing about it is, it's the push and pull, it's the give and take. I don't like the word give and take, but it's like the positive and negative of having Juneteenth be a holiday. Because you want to celebrate emancipation, you want to celebrate freedom, you want to celebrate the progress, but it gets folded right into the reason why emancipation was so difficult in the first place, right? Emancipation was difficult because people did not want to give up their economic power. And capitalism, it was and is still the rule of the day. So, next year, I did a show on this maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago now. How should we be celebrating Juneteenth? If you're a black or brown person, celebrate. If you're anybody else, learn about it. Volunteer, donate your time. Learn about why people are celebrating. A lot of people are still saying things like, well, we shouldn't celebrate Juneteenth because it's old hat, it's old news. But we're here to say Juneteenth is American history now and forever, right? Yeah. Okay, well, that is the end of our Sleep in the Streets. I also would like to get into what's coming up next. We have a lot of great things happening with YPOC and around the city and region. First of all, our happy hour, our monthly YPOC happy hour is tomorrow at Glow Harrisburg, and we're celebrating Pride Month. Yes. What's the new address? Anybody knew the new address for Glow? Strawberry Square, yes, 30 something. But it's in 303, I believe. We're in Strawberry Square. Connect with us if you don't know how to where or why or how to get there. But we will be happy to host you. We're so excited to hang out with our friends at Glow and celebrate Prideteenth, and really show some solidarity during this month. So we're so excited. Our retreat, our YPOC retreat coming quickly, August the 1st through the 4th. We will be in the Poconos. We are so excited to have, I think we have 3 rooms left. Ooh, out of 14. So get your room. Okay, get your room. Because if you haven't got your room, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna miss it. Okay, so I want you to get your room. Okay, it's gonna be beautiful. It is a Black-owned bed and breakfast, Aquaba Inn in Bethany, PA. Shout out to Miss Monique Greenwood, who is our wonderful friend. We are going for our 7th retreat.
Wow, good old 7.
2018, 19, 2021, 22, 23, 24, yeah. Wow. Time flies, wow. We also have some amazing things coming up here at Open Stage. I love to tell everyone, we're at our home, Open Stage. This show, The Black NewsBeat, is a partnership between Young Professionals of Color, Greater Harrisburg, and Open Stage. And we're so happy. Shout out to Finn, shout out to Stu, shout out to the whole crew here at Open Stage who helps us make sure that this show is always wonderful, always popping. So we have some great things coming up. We have a musical theater workshop showcase coming up here at Open Stage. POTUS is coming up. That is a production that is going to be putting on. Winnie the Pooh kids production is coming up. And outside of Open Stage, we want to shout out one of our friends and partners. Intimate Apparel by Sankofa Theater and Ms. Sharia Brown is showing right now in Theater Harrisburg. And they close this weekend. They're closing this weekend. So if you haven't got your tickets for that, please go ahead and get your tickets for that. And support Open Stage. Support theater in Harrisburg. We're actually sitting in the Arts District right now. And there's been such a revival of arts and beautiful and culture and stuff in the city. So please go ahead and support. And listen, again, we're sitting here in a wonderful theater. If you haven't been by Open Stage Theater, come to the show. We have a couple of guests here tonight. Hi, everybody. Hi, our new friend in the back. So please support ventures like Black NewsBeat. We're live tonight. If you guys haven't already, on Facebook, we're on Instagram. No, I'm sorry, we're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Anywhere else, babe? I think that's it. Those 3 places, X. So if you see the show, share the show. X, also known as Twitter, but really just Black Twitter, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what else is on there besides the Black people stuff, I don't know. But definitely share when you see it online so that we can get the word out about all the great things we're doing. All right, well that is the end of the first recap. We'll be right back with our guests for our Juneteenth HBG Victory Lap, as I was calling it online, and we're gonna talk about all the great things we accomplished. So we'll be right back.
Oh, you can't hear me, huh? How about now? Oh, this your moment, ayy. Not right now. If you a hating nigga, please pipe down. Cause I don't know if it's we the beat, but this bitch too loud. I was down bad, I ain't had no cash. Now these hoes mad cause the camera lights flash. I was down bad, I ain't had no cash. Now these hoes mad cause the camera lights flash. Bitch, I'm a boss. I only focus on comments and stress when I'm taking a loss. Round of applause. I see these hoes double back as soon as they see.
Call 911. I'm just gonna apply some pressure, okay?
When minutes matter, you have the power to save a life. Learn more at minutesmatter.up.
My name is Dewan Dixon. I'm known as Juan99, they call me, and I am the founder and CEO of 99 Characters Entertainment. As you know, with the internet TV, Roku has expanded up to 50 million subscribers at the moment, And that's where we give our channel for Try 99 TV for our viewers and for our platform and talents. We host mashups to roasts to puppet shows, community events. We pretty much do everything from touring to local events. We really have a vast majority of different shows. Our content creation group is our collaborative network where we come together as a barter system, and we use different companies partnering together, and we use that avenue to give each other more for our dreams and our goals.
Well, we are back, and I have two wonderful guests with me. We have Miss April Ash here and Miss Anna White. April, again, was our civic engagement chair for Juneteenth and also did the press conference and just throughout the week helped out with everything. And Anna is one of three of the executive co-chairs focusing on finance and just making sure we kept ourselves together. So welcome, ladies. Yeah. And we also have some folks out in the audience. I don't know if Dewan is still here, but Dewan organized the Black Performance Arts Mashup on Thursday. We thank him for that. And we have Maxims also here, who was our merch, held it down for merch the whole week. Yes. And I also want to shout out Anna, who was our very first official Black NewsBeat intern. And, second, I should say, but I'm sorry, not Black NewsBeat, YPOC intern, and held it down the entire week for Juneteenth, working registration, quick learner. It was a beautiful week, and Anna was so reliable. So shout out to you, Anna. That's another Anna, not this Anna. And she didn't know us from a can of paint and came and jumped right in, and it was very beautiful. So we're very thankful. All right, ladies, we got lots to cover, honey. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to you both and to all of our chairs. Yanni's here. All of our chairs did an amazing job. People keep thanking me personally, and I keep saying this is a team effort. And it's intentionally being a team effort. So talk to me a little bit about your experience and how you guys experienced the week.
Okay. Thank you so much for having us.
Always.
And we're really appreciative of just being able to be a part of such a momentous movement, right? And I can say personally, this is the first year that I've been able to get out to every single event. Let's just start there.
Because you were at everything.
Every single event. And I can say, like, Harrisburg, Central PA, y'all showed up.
Facts.
Y'all showed up. Y'all showed your support. You came out, and it was such a beautiful, when we talk about that Kohado method, it was such a beautiful scene to see everyone working together, everyone embracing, empowering one another, and being able, like you were talking about earlier, learning from one another, right? And embracing that Black American culture, that in the history that comes with Juneteenth. It was beautiful representation of what we want to see the future, of our community to look like.
Absolutely right. Yeah. It's absolutely future-making work, for sure.
I think for me, coming back and just seeing how our experience has evolved and how the city was looking forward to events that, otherwise we were seeing last year weren't readily available. Just like the return of the love for and appreciation for the arts and the fullness of culture, not just, the concert is always an amazing experience, but also people being fully engaged in the educational aspects and the arts and reimagining what the arts looks like for us in the city and just welcoming all the different opportunities for partnerships in those new spaces, right? Being in City Island this year. So I think it just allowed for us to really see that, Harrisburg is ours and how we take ownership of the city and how we experience it is possible, and how we work together to create those collaborations is always, so nice to see. I think this year, I was not at all the events, sad face, but I think for this year, for me, I usually don't have a fear of missing out on events because events are usually like, they're hit or miss, blah, blah, blah. But because we had so much momentum at the start of it, right on Saturday, and so much love and so much support that towards the end of the week, it's like if you weren't at these events, you really missed a moment in time in Harrisburg that you were truly missing out on the essence of community. So I just thank everybody for coming out. I thank everybody for supporting all of the facets of, you know, not just the fun stuff, right? Because the fun stuff is the easy stuff, but being able to engage in the educational and revolutionary work we did.
Yeah, absolutely right. And that is the point of, I think, of the work that we are, I was going to say trying to do, that we're doing. I'm not going to say trying anymore. We're actually doing it. The work that we are doing, the point is to celebrate and to educate. That's always been the point. And I think we accomplished that this week.
Yes.
I really do. You know, bumps and all, it was such a beautiful week that even the bumps don't even seem that bumpy.
Yeah.
So I'm just very thankful. So let's start with Saturday. How was the concert, ladies?
I just think from my perspective, the concert was amazing. The concert itself was amazing. Yanni did an amazing job. Power Choice Productions. Shout out to Chris and Handles and just XL Live for handling us with such care that day. I think that the community was really excited. I think there's always growing and learning opportunities. So I love for us to be able to have events where we can just have them repeatedly year after year, and people are just accustomed to what to expect. So I was really excited that the community came out again. It was packed, it was entertaining, and it always gives us a chance to, you know, reconnect, and music is what brings us all together. So I think it went really, really well. I think that the feedback was really positive. So I was just excited to see everybody able to experience like a joyful occasion in the midst of what's happening around us. We found a way to still come out and enjoy each other.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Absolutely. And I would also venture to say I loved being able to see the education piece infused into the concert.
Oh, yeah.
Because like she was saying, it's great that we're doing the fun stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you want to highlight that. But the importance of registering the vote, the importance of getting involved into that political conversation and knowing how powerful you really are as a community. I mean, just to be able to see some of the people's reactions when we started engaging in the education of, you know, civic conversation, folks were like, they were bobbing their heads. They were really engaged. They wanted to know more. And I think that that is going to help build the community in the future. I mean, since we all know that we are in an election year this year, and it's a very important one. And so especially for the Black American community, for us to be able to have that voice and to know how important it is. It was amazing to see that, you know, especially at a concert.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times you don't get that, you know, a lot of times you only get one aspect. So to be able to infuse all of that together, it was a beautiful moment to see.
I think the concert, a lot of folks go, why would you talk about voting at a concert? Because that's where the people are at.
Hello.
You got to be where the people are. You got to talk to them where they are. And you have to make sure to attach to the things that they love and hold dear. Something else is very important. A lot of folks separate those things out because they don't see how they're connected.
And a lot of times I think what we don't realize is how things are connected, right? So like who you vote for locally affects the amount of funding that you receive and sponsorship dollars that came from the county and different spaces. And that dictated a lot of what happened during the week.
Absolutely.
So as much as I think we tried to separate, you know, this idea of separation of church and state, or separation of, you know, these educational moments from these things. Every single thing that happened during Juneteenth had an educational aspect, but it also had some aspect of the results of how we're voting in the city.
Yes,
from the
absolutely.
locations to the allowances,
absolutely.
to the vendors, to economic empowerment. Everything that we did, if you really dig deep enough, has something to do with the way that we're voting locally and statewide. And I think that we have to always think like, if we want a better outcome for the city, if we want a better outcome for the county, if we want a better outcome for the Commonwealth, how we vote trickles down and affects our everyday life. And I think we provided an opportunity to kind of see how things like that mix in, and we should never lose sight of that.
And that's something that our Auditor General really highlighted during the week. He said, he kept on saying, wow, look how many electeds are turning out. Look how the county is turning out. Look how the state, the reps are here. the city council people came by. We had people from other municipalities come through, other mayors and other folks. So it was in addition to being fun, which is what we always want, it was also a beautiful show of civic engagement, I think, which is the point.
I mean, girl, you done brought out the governor.
The governor.
The governor. Shout outs to Governor
Shout out to the
Shapiro
governor,
because truly that was something, for real. Like, shout him out for that because how often do people get to say, hey, I actually had a conversation. And here was the thing, though. He invited you back to the table.
Yes, he did.
And that is key, right? Being invited to the table and knowing that you're valued.
That's right.
Knowing that what you have to say, someone wants to hear it. Someone with power wants to hear what you have to say. That's huge in building trust. That's huge in building that community engagement and to getting people involved into the actual process itself, right? When you feel like someone's listening, I'm actually being heard. So to be able to bring that out, and like you said, throughout the entire week, we had different elected officials from every level. Every level were there.
I don't think we've ever had that before.
Right. So for that to actually occur, it's like it's a historical piece that should really, really be celebrated.
Listen,
and
the
highlighted.
Juneteenth HBG Collaborative, that we're working on collaboration. Collaboration is in the name of of what we're trying to do. So I'm happy to see it's paying off. I'm really happy to see it's paying off. But let's get to Tuesday because Tuesday was wow. It's always my favorite event, huh?
Monday.
Sorry. Oh, Laura, I was gonna skip Monday.
That's all right.
Saturday to Tuesday. Monday. Monday was great too. Okay, let me dial it back. Too much excitement. Monday morning, we had the press conference, and let me tell you. So, okay, I'm not even gonna go. I am gonna big her up, but I'm not gonna steal her thunder. April, you did a phenomenal. You did a phenomenal job. That press conference was we've never had anything like that at the Capitol. Even for Cultural Day at the Capitol, I think. We had Hair Story there. We had, I'm not gonna steal the thunder.
It's okay.
April, go ahead. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
No, it was truly amazing. And shout outs to every single person, a part of the committee that helped with this. I mean, Imani Cameron, Thomas Jordan, Stephanie Porterreal, Maria James Thial. I mean, you even had Mr. Linwood Sloan, a part of that as well. Floyd Stokes was a part of the committee. So shout outs to them. Thank you for everything that you guys did. Shout outs to the hospitality, group that really helped us to put that together. Eileen, shout outs to Eileen. Even throughout the whole week. Yes, Big Eileen. Listen, she did her big one this whole entire week with hospitality.
Yeah, she really did.
But on Monday, definitely it was important for us to, of course, highlight the entire civic engagement piece of it, and we had a kids corner that comprised of a civil rights, picket fence type of setup where kids were able to learn more about Juneteenth and its history. Not only just Juneteenth and its history, but Juneteenth's history here in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was one of the first states to have the Emancipation Act passed, and so to be able to have the children learn on the ground of the 8th Ward, where the Black neighborhood was and where our Capitol building sits to this day, for them to be able to learn about that and be a part of that engagement, it really gave them a sense of, pride, and it gave them a sense of belonging and knowing that, again, your voice is being heard. Then we had Hair Story. Shout outs to the entire cast, as well as Maria James Thial, who put together this phenomenal piece. And they were able to bring just a snippet. We couldn't do the whole thing, but just a snippet of their phenomenal story, the Hair Story, which then embodies the Crown Act and why it's so important for us to be able to wear our natural hair, or even braids, or even wigs of that natural effect. But just being able to express ourselves, creatively in that manner. So we were able to highlight the legislation that we are also uplifting as well. I mean, we also delved into the Dwinneman dancers, shout outs to Lark, Daniels for bringing that. And, a lot of times we only want to highlight just Black American history, but we got to understand where that history roots from.
Absolutely.
And that comes from Africa.
Yeah.
And so we always want to be able to go back to those roots and be able to highlight those and celebrate those, because without that, we would not be where we are today. You know, so shout outs to them for that. And then who else? Oh my gosh, we had so many highlights. I mean, shout outs to all of the vendors that came out as well. You know, we had sickle cell, AmeriHealth, sickle cell, Aetna. You had the Department of General Services that came out there. Again, you know, just from the administration piece of it, thank you for every single department that came out that helped out with this part.
And we were nervous because they weren't in session that day.
Right. And that was the thing, right? Like a week before the actual event started, we learned that they were not going to be in session. And a little bit of us, we were like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? You know, what does that mean? But you know what?
It turned out so beautiful.
Girl, listen, I could not have asked for anything more. Thank you to everyone in the Capitol complex that showed up. We even had video game bus out there with the wellness bus and taking sickle cell screenings as well. So really shout out to Dwayne Golden for bringing his team out there.
Dwayne.
Yes, thank you for that. So
and also one of our sponsors, Sickle Cell as well.
Yes.
So it was a beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was a beautiful day. My favorite part of that, I think, was just seeing how amazed people were coming into the Capitol, probably not knowing what to expect, and then being just amazed. We also had a shout out to Patty Kim's office for hosting our VIP suite. That was beautiful, and the chef experience, I think is the name of the folks. Food was banging. Okay, that mac and cheese was everything. So we had a wonderful morning, and then we moved on. We kept it moving. We kept pushing, you know, because we like to do a lot, do the most. Okay, we went on to the Black Arts Expo in the evening. And that was just, it was an ode to Black women, and I felt that. I felt almost every single part of that, including with a lot of the vendors, was giving this ode back to Black women in the clothing and the pictures. Shout out to Abrea and the beautiful maternity shoot that was, oh my goodness. Shout out to Chantel at Nyanga Store and her clothing that was featured. The artist, shout out to Leslie and Jessica Rabbit for producing such a beautiful evening. My favorite exhibit that night was the picture frame with the young lady in it. The live art was so beautiful. So what did you guys think? I know I had a beautiful evening.
We had the Black History Bowl at the same
we
time.
had the Black History Bowl.
So
and Ariana won.
My baby,
her daughter. Ariana won first place.
Didn't want you guys to forget that happened. So shout out to Ariana. So I think it was important for us to be able to fold in how to bring in the young people at all of these experiences. And they were really, truly, you know, once they got done during the Black History Bowl, and shout out to Whitney for that, they were able to walk around and experience that art as well. So I think it was really about how we engaged all of the age groups and having them just exposed to the different ways that we were looking at art. I really love the maternity shoot, so shout out to Abrea. That was really nice. We had music, we had singers, so I just thought the entire experience.
The performers
was
her name right now, but her and the young man were so good. They're from Philly. Somebody please remind me of their name. They were so good. And it just set the tone. It was beautiful.
So I think, again, being able to have people that are coming in from Philly and all these different locations to come in and just provide variety of art experience for us is always really amazing. And I'm always like, you know, the more we get to experience art and then other people see how much we are still dedicated to the arts, it helps us as we push for the arts to return in curriculum in schools and all these different places that are, you know, slowly disappearing arts programming and curriculum. It shows that the city is still invested in it, and that should be a telltale sign for people that are working to bring the arts back into our city in a really big way.
Absolutely right. And I also liked that shout out to WITF for letting us use that space as well. They were a space sponsor. And we filled out the whole space, and it was beautiful. And just watching how the art and the music and everything, and the vendors, we had
food truck.
The food truck was delicious. There was Basir, what'd you get? The party box.
Oh my
The
gosh,
party
yes.
box was banging. It had chicken and shrimp and tostones and some other things in there. And they were also selling mofongo. It was so good. I had a bite of somebody else's. So it was a beautiful night. So thankful that went off so well.
Yeah.
It went off really well.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but I'm like in awe. People are like, are you so surprised? I'm like, kinda, because
Yeah.
like it happens every year, but then it happens in a way that is new and fresh every year. It feels like a new experience. It never feels old hat ever. And this is the 5th year we're doing it. So yeah. So all right. Okay. So Monday, we did Monday. Now can we talk about Tuesday?
Yes.
So Tuesday was our summit. Shout out to Elise Irvis.
Yes.
Shout out to Elise Irvis and shout out to Elise Irvis again because that was also a twofer. The day summit was wonderful. Shout out to Harrisburg University for being a space sponsor as well. It was a beautiful day of learning and togetherness, and people left feeling refreshed.
Yep.
And I love to hear that. So what was your guys' experience with the summit?
Shout out to all the panelists.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, the topics of discussions, it was a vast variety, but they all kind of compensated together to talk about that emancipation, to talk about the importance of the history of Black freedom, you know, and what does that look like, whether it be in the workspace? What does it look like in the business space? What does it look like even, you know, relationship-wise with one another, and how we show up in those spaces? How can we support? Listen, I learned so much, and don't think, brothers, that just because we did an ode to Black women that we forgot about y'all, because the brothers showed up for their panel. Let me tell you, they showed up, and shout outs to every single panelist that had something to say. Corey and Terrell, y'all did your thing. You really did. So make sure y'all bring that back for next year and widen it, you know, expand that thing. So don't think that the brothers weren't involved. You definitely were thought of in this space. So, you know, just having that togetherness. And shout out to Lest We Forget. Lest We Forget. Oh my gosh, Lest We Forget Museum and the artifacts that they brought. I don't know about y'all, but it was kind of a moment for me. Like, I think for me, that was kind of my favorite exhibit because those were actual chains that we saw that our ancestors wore. And even though we couldn't touch it, it was more or less like you could feel the energy, you could feel the trauma, you could feel what they were going through at that time and be able to empathize with that. And even with that, you can then take that with you as a strength finder for yourself as you're fortifying and going through your day-to-day. So for me, it was kind of a reminder of the strength that we have, of the power that we actually do have collectively, you know, because collectively is where we make the change.
Absolutely
So
right.
yeah.
Absolutely right.
I will say, for me, I always enjoy the summit because here's the thing about sponsors. When you guys in the community, the companies become sponsors, you have tickets and you are able to bring your guests to these events. And I always like that people in community are able to be exposed to the topics that are surrounding Juneteenth, right? So, you know, typically people bring their DEI committees and say, hey, go out, we have these Juneteenth tickets, go out and do this. But I love that there was diversity in the individuals that participated as far as sponsors, right? Because it's one of those things where you're not just going for the entertainment part, right? You're sponsoring and investing in a community, and the return on investment is that your employees, 5, 7, 10 of them, are able to be exposed to topics that matter in our space, and then you can take that education back to your workplaces, right? So shout out to sponsors like Aetna, who had, you know, a lot of people that came in and sat in on the sessions, and, you know, other organizations, of course, that where sponsors participated, but I always like to see that part. Absolutely. The fact that you're not just putting money somewhere and saying, okay, here's a logo, but really sending people to these events and they are able to learn something and share with, you know, the rest of their employees and the rest of their team. And that's really what it's about. It's about return on investment. It's about educational and cultural awareness and bringing that level of education. Like you said, all the panels in some way, shape, or form, or something that you can take back to your community, and then begin to look at your own organizations and see how those topics relate to your own workspace. So I was really impressed by the level of sponsor investment in the summit, and them being able to hopefully take that and, you know, see how it fits within their own company or organization.
Absolutely. And also shout out to some of our title sponsors for the conference. We had Aetna. Aetna was a huge. I mean, first of all, they showed up all week. They showed up the entire week. They brought
With
the
all
bus.
the things.
They brought the people. They brought the
Yes,
table. They
all
brought
the
everything.
giveaways.
I got all
Yes.
the giveaways. Those lavender pouches, the hearts, they're my favorite.
Yes.
They smell beautiful. You can put them in the microwave. Everybody has them. You put them in the microwave a few seconds and heat it up, and it activates the lavender scent. Fabulous. I should have brought some tonight. But anyway. It was a beautiful, so shout out to Anna, shout out to TFEC who spoke, shout out to Next Gen IT Partnership, of which I'm on the steering committee, they spoke. Shout out to Miss Paula from Aetna, I want to make sure I shout her out. She spoke several times during the week and it was beautiful. And so I'm really happy that folks took that so seriously and really committed to that. Let's talk about Angela, because we got to talk about Angela. She was so, okay, first of all, she brought the heat. And I was happy about it because, you know, sometimes people come and they get a little reticent or they're like, oh, you know, the crowd. She didn't care who was in the room, but she spoke to the people in the room. And it was a wonderful night. Again, shout out to Tim before. April and Paula got to moderate with Angela. But I think one of the most important things she talked about, she kept saying this phrase. She's like, you know, sorry if I'm not joyful. Sorry if I'm not in this space where I am celebratory right now because we still have so much work to do. And I felt that. I feel that in the work that we do every day, the work that we do with Juneteenth, the work that we do in our respective roles around the city and the region. So I was encouraged, even though she kept saying, you know, I don't feel excited, I don't feel celebratory. I still felt that spoke to me and it gave me something that I needed, especially because sometimes this is just a slog, it's a grind trying to get this stuff done in a way that is beneficial. So it spoke to me, it enriched me, and I was very happy.
Yeah, actually, to that point, meeting her was a humbling experience because you could feel that authenticity, and you could feel, and maybe some people will get it, some people may not, but you could feel the struggle. You could feel the weight, you know, on one woman. So imagine how we all feel, you know, collectively as a community together, just the work that we know that we're tasked to do in our respective areas. And to be able to spend just, you know, an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it was with her, to just listen to that point. Like, there were so many history nuggets that she dropped on us that we didn't know.
Absolutely.
And look, and sis was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just drop that there and I'll come back, you know. But it gave us, to that point, it gave us that encouragement that we won. Yes, we have a lot of work that we still need to do.
She was like, what they teach you on them schools?
Okay. And we still look, and we
what they teach you on them schools?
and we was all like,
what they teach you on? What's the history teacher on?
Yeah. What history class?
that part. That part. But I mean, even to that, it was kind of like you said, all week long we've been learning something, and she dropped so many nuggets for us to learn about. And I love the sense of humor that she could find even in the midst of the trauma. And that is one thing about us, y'all. We will crack a joke. Honey, we're going to find the happiness in something, you know, regardless of what we're dealing with. So for me, thank you, you know, allowing me the space to be able to be on the same stage with her and Paula, to be able to moderate that. But even the questions that were asked of her, you know, shout out to the audience, okay?
They was
y'all, I mean, y'all came with some questions that even for myself, I was like, should we be asking this? But it was like, but you know what? You can't shy away from the hard conversations. And that's a part of Juneteenth. Like, we can't sit up here and talk about freedom and not talk about the struggle.
Absolutely
we
right.
can't sit up here and talk about what we want and not talk about what we ain't doing.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like it's a twofold, and she brought that balance for us to be able to learn more about what we should do. So shout outs to Miss Angela Rye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was real good.
I mean, I love her. So, yeah, I was really excited that she was here. And I think one of the things that she kept repeating also was that she wasn't in a celebratory mood, but there's still work to be done. And I think for us in the city, we don't always feel like showing up. There's a lot happening. Even the week that we were having Juneteenth, there was a lot happening locally. So it's about showing up, and it's about remembering our why and sticking to our purpose. And I think that she said a lot of amazing things. I think that there was a lot of teachable moments, because I think when people come in a political space and do a lot of history, there is still a need, a very clear need for, you know, civic education in our city. So that when speakers like this show up, we can be in tune with what's happening in the world, right? So shout out to her for, you know, even rearranging what she was talking about in order to give us those teachable moments that we otherwise may struggle to find in these non-existent history classes that we have, or curriculums that are struggling, you know, in the city itself. So I think anytime someone comes and provides more history and more context, they also help to fuel our purpose. So I think she did an amazing job of reminding us of our purpose. I think that we shared in feeling the energy of, you know, Black women consistently showing up and what that looks like, and the power of consistently showing up when it matters, even when you're not in a mood to be a motivational speaker, right? So I don't think that her purpose was to come and be like, all right, and when we leave here, we're all about to be. No, we're struggling. And as a country, we're struggling to keep facts together. We're struggling. But even in the midst of that struggle, there was purpose, and there was laughter, and there was joy, and there was incentive. So I think that she did a really amazing job. And she spoke to being able to give things a name and understand purposes of names, right? So she was talking about the building and how you can have a Department of Justice, but the building itself was named after. So, or just giving things a name, because if you cannot identify something, if you cannot name a sickness or a tumor, then you can't heal it. So I think the takeaway for me is always, when you can name things, you can identify it, and you can research it, and then you can ultimately conquer it. So she's just had all the gems, and I appreciate it. And shout out to the forum for that space, because it was a really good location to be able to have people. And thank the audience for showing up, because it was a very long day for us, and people came straight from work. So I appreciate when people invest in, you know, the educational parts just as much as the fun stuff, because politics is not always fun, but politics always serves its purpose, and we have to be able to find the balance, and people showed up for that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was really great. It was really great. And we'll have the video up soon. We're getting a bunch of stuff back. Shout out again to Ivan for taping the entire thing, and we're just excited to be able to showcase that. Okay, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back with the rest of the week. We're going, you know, sip a little water, and we'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Calling all members of the Greater Harrisburg community. We need you. We would love for you to join the YPOC and become a part of our leadership team. Would you like to join our board and get great perks and access in the community? Think about it and let us know. We'd love for you to contact us as soon as possible if you are ready. You can email us at info@ypoc-hbg.org.
My name is DeJuan Dixon. I'm known as Juan99, they call me, and I am the founder and CEO of 99 Characters Entertainment. As you know, with the internet TV, Roku has expanded up to 50 million subscribers at the moment. And that's where we give our channel for Try 99 TV for our viewers and for our platform and talents. We host mashups to roasts to puppet shows, community events. We pretty much do everything from touring to local events. We really have a vast majority of different shows. Our content creation group is our collaborative network where we come together as a barter system. And we use different companies partnering together, and we use that avenue to give each other more for our dreams and our goals.
We're back, and we have covered the first half of the week. But before we go into the second half of the week, we were just remarking on the break about how interesting I don't know the word's interesting, but the growth that has happened from at least 2022 to now, and how we have different struggles, but we've made so much progress from 2022. 2022, we couldn't even air the episode that we did on the Juneteenth recap. We did not air it because it was so fraught, it was so full of things. And then last year, similar. And this year, we really are sitting here enjoying and rejoicing in the work that we accomplish, and it feels so different. So we're very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Very, very thankful for that. Did you want to give any comments on that?
No.
Because she's been here all the years. So.
You know, as we learn and grow, I think that what was really special about this year is that even though things are always coming up, but we were able to have a much more solutions-focused, positive outlook and positive outcomes on things. I credit that to our amazing team. Yeah. I credit that to us working, longer and learning from our mistakes. Absolutely. And just the level of teamwork from vendors and our team and just the community. I think that we had bumps, but it wasn't something that we didn't feel defeated this year.
No, we did not.
So I think even as we're talking about it right now, it's just such a level of optimism on the growth and what we can see into the future. And I think sometimes in the past, we weren't always able to see the things, even after the dust settled. So I'm just really happy that we're all still happy to be talking about Juneteenth.
Absolutely. It's very different
because sometimes we're just like, the week is over
and it's done, and we don't ever want to see this week again.
Please stop speaking to me.
We don't want to see the week anymore. This time it's like, where are the pictures, and what did we capture, and it just feels so different. It feels real different, and I'm very happy for the growth. So I know you weren't here, but any comments? You weren't here in the last, as a chair, I should say, but any comments, anything that you realized from the years?
Yeah, I will definitely say the energy from the organization as a whole, as a collective. You didn't just have your Juneteenth chair or your Juneteenth pillars involved. You had the entire YPOC. Whether you were a board member, a chair, or whatever your position was, even just down to just being a member, you had them show up. They wanted to volunteer. They want, you know what I mean? And they wanted to be involved. They wanted to help. They wanted to volunteer. And sometimes it's hard to get people to volunteer. Especially in the heat.
And it was hot.
Child, because it was hot.
And it's usually hot, but this week
it was disrespectful.
They literally said on Friday night, well, your heat wave starts tomorrow before the concert. And we were like, no.
Great.
But everyone adjusted so well, and everyone just kind of just came together. So I will say in the past, whatever bumps and bruises y'all did go through, then we didn't see it this year. We didn't see it. Okay, we didn't experience that same. Because sometimes you're able to see it on an organization. We didn't get that this year. So shout outs to y'all. For adjusting, abasing, abounding, knowing how to move amongst your people, and learning from whatever you guys did go through in the previous. Because when I say organized,
honey, we tried this.
Let me tell you something about organization. I went into the first meeting oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. I ain't never seen, it was so just well thought out, well put together. You could tell that almost every detail that you could think of, every roadblock, every challenge, okay, if this doesn't happen, we can do this. It was a collective, that collective model, it went a long way. It really does. So shout out to the main, I don't know his name.
Paulo Gregory. Yep.
Shout outs. Oh my gosh, that model.
And he'll be back.
Yeah, that model was phenomenal. So
Yeah, Kohado is a model where we talk about stewardship versus top-down versus autocratic leadership, top-down leadership, gatekeeping leadership. Yeah. And we talk about an emergent model where leaders are stewards of the project versus the end, one person's the end all be all to the project. People say, well, Kimeka, you're still in charge. I'm really not. Like I pretend a little bit sometimes, but really the group owns this project. And I think we felt it even more this year. And we want to keep that going where we decentralize the power and spread it amongst everyone so everyone feels empowered. Because that to me is how you make more good leaders, right? Everyone deferring to one person and giving up their power to one person doesn't move the collective forward from and I shouldn't say that. It has served its purpose. And I think in certain settings it does serve its purpose. I said, but I've been craving, and I think a lot of other people have as well, been craving a model where we can talk about what true shared power looks like.
And I can't remember the quote, but I think it's something along the lines of like, if I care about you and you care about me, like that's the responsibility, right? So this only works if we all have an invested interest in one another. And if I care about your event, right, and I'm just like, nah, oh well, my event, we're focused on my event. However April's gonna do, she's gonna sink or swim, right? I think what we see is that no, if April is to survive and the collective is to survive, it's my responsibility to pour into her event as deeply as my event, because it's our event, it's our entire week. And I think we felt that, right?
Yeah,
so every morning we would wake up in this god awful group chat and just be like, what do you need, right? Even sending encouraging words. And then when the event was over, being like, oh, you killed it, right? And it didn't feel disingenuous. It didn't feel like overkill. It really felt like you completed your mission and we were happy to stand beside you. And I think that's how the entire week went. Everyone just felt like, okay, I was bombarded with support, right? And we're teaching that in this city. We're teaching a level of unconditional support and selflessness and collaboration. And you teach that through committee work, and you teach that through events like this, right? You don't always have to have like some PowerPoint or leadership conference, but you teach people how to work collectively in a really genuine way by doing things like this. So shout out to always asking people to come on to YPOC, where you can learn, through us planning events, how to get this leadership model together in a way that you can take with you to other spaces. So if you love what happened this week and how we put things together, I invite you guys to join YPOC, look at the committees, look at the ways that you can invest, because we are really intentional about bringing this model and this collaborative spirit back to the city, because we want it, but it's the how do we get there. And I think we're trying to show people how to get there.
Absolutely right. And it's been a journey with even reframing our minds to understand how it works. Because a lot of people will defer their power. They will offer it up because that's the only models we know. We only know autocracy. We only know gatekeeping. We don't have any other examples besides us literally working together on the ground together of how to do big things like this without having like this top-down approach.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy that we're modeling it. It takes a long time. This is our 5th year. I want people to understand. This doesn't take 1 second. This takes many, many years to build something beautiful like this, and we're committed to it.
Yeah.
So we're really committed to it. All right, we're on what day?
Wednesday.
All right, we're on Wednesday. Okay. When I tell you the Jubilee, shout out to Big Ashley too. When I tell you the Jubilee was I didn't know what was going to happen for the Jubilee, because people don't like to walk. It was hot. It was hot.
The hottest day.
You had to walk all the way down to the end of the island. So many things, and over 1,000 people showed up. Imagine my surprise if the kids just kept coming and coming and coming, and then the governor came.
Yeah.
At 2:00. And then people were like, the governor's there. And then more people were like, did we miss the governor? And we had free food. We had free mini golf for families. And folks were coming at like 5:00, like, hey, I heard y'all had mini golf. And we're like, we gave away all the tickets already. It was interesting to see people had heard about it from their friends. Like, this actually is happening, and it is happening for real. And there is an investment in the community happening. So I was floored. DJ Bach did his thing. That music was wonderful. It was you know how vibes get set? It was already a vibe because the little vendor village was lit. Yeah. So many great vendors, right? We had a petting zoo. We had our Books guy was out there. We had so many great things.
Aetna had their bus again.
Aetna had the bus. Okay, the bus was nice because they were giving out smoothies. The air conditioning bus.
Yes.
They were giving out different other. They had so we had Aetna merch. They also had other merch, which was great. They had little alcohol, hand sanitizer things, some other stuff. So they had a lot to give back to the community that was useful. I thought. Some merch is not useful. They had highlighter things. They had a bunch of good stuff. So
somebody had fans, very useful, whoever you guys were.
That was
Dolphin County.
Dolphin County. Had the fans, saved our lives, yeah. And we had we had so many of our vendors come out. Shout out to T Connectivity, shout out to 3 of the different banks, PSECU, Members First. And we had so much good support. Penn State Health, NAACP. Fringe was out there, Bree was out there. It was a great showing. I think we had 56 vendors show up, which is the largest that we've had.
Wow.
So 50, we were approaching 60. I think a couple people decided to vend on different days, but just on that day alone, we had 56. So
wow.
Throughout the week, I think we had about between 60 and 70, which is much bigger than we had in years before. So it was beautiful. Yeah. It was beautiful.
And the Jubilee is about bringing dollars back into the community, right? So
That's
thank you guys for not just passing by vendors that we're charging, right? So really investing financially back into our community. That's a lot of vendors.
Yes.
And hopefully, the vendors had a really good experience. Shout out to Downtown Daily Bread and Corey, who actually provided the free meals.
Sponsorship for the meals.
Sponsorship for the meals. We were scared to have it at City Island because anytime we move events in the city, people are like, I don't know what to expect. Right? So City Island is a space that we very much can use and utilize, and we have not. So we challenged ourselves to say, why not? Why can't we have vendors all across the grass and do the golf and do the food truck and partner with the beach club? Why can't we? This is
Shout out to the beach club.
Shout out to the beach club, but this is also our space as well. So again, I think sometimes we think crossing that bridge, right, causes a different level of trauma and anxiety, rightfully so. But I think even making sure that we reimagine what City Island looks like for us and the opportunities for us to use that space. We could have concerts there. We can do things there, right? It's not just a place where we kind of go for a little bit and take a little walk around and do a lap and come back real quick. You could really be there. And for the community to come out on one of the hottest days, it was very hot. Everybody was sweating. We acknowledged that. It was wild. And I feel like people just stayed, right? So we
were like,
it was
it's
wild.
So hot, but what the vendors doing over there?
Yeah. So people really, literally came and stayed and experienced the Jubilee and the economic empowerment part of it. So it was a lot of people. And we were really scared, but you guys, all 1,000 or 1,200 of you guys crossed that good old bridge and walked there. And then walked back to your car. So, we're happy that we were able
baseball game
to help people get your steps in because y'all stepped and y'all did y'all big one with that one.
And I want to give a special shout out to Rain and Taj Lemonade because y'all cleaned them out. Y'all cleaned the Lemonade girls out. I went back for 3 lemonades myself. They did a great job. They had the BLM lemonade, the blueberry, lemon, and mango. That was real good.
Wow.
They're always great.
Lavender. Blueberry, lavender, and mango. That was great. And it was a wonderful time. People were coming with big spreads of all their products and hawking all their wares. And it was just wonderful to see. We had different African apparel, like 2 or 3 different African apparel stands. We had that cupcake lady was out there. We had, I can't even name all the vendors. There were so many.
Local artists on there too. I actually got a piece of art, y'all. Let me tell you something. It was a huge, I want to say it's like an 8x10. Well, no, it's like an 8x10, maybe a little bigger. But like, you would have thought, like, honestly, it should have been in somebody's gallery. Like, some of it, shout out to, a lot of the local artists that did come out and showcase throughout the week that showcased their artwork, and people were buying, people were buying it. Like, so to your point of like, not being afraid, but forging a new pathway and being that trailblazer, it actually opened up more doors for more vendors to come out. It opened up doors for, small businesses to come out that may have not had that opportunity just yet, and to really get out of their comfort zone, but be amongst their people and be amongst their neighborhood friends so that they can then feel comfortable. I will say also too, shout outs to the book guy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
He was doing it.
He did his thing with having all those different kinds of books from all different age groups, right? And he was giving them away.
Yes.
Brand new books.
2 books per kid.
Yep.
He gave me 5 because I'm special like that. I got a John Henry book. I got all kinds of great books.
Yeah.
He does it everywhere. He was like, make sure I'm there. I was like, oh, you're going to be there. And he's done this over and over again. Over and over again, he gives out these books. And people were so excited. People were so excited to get them.
Yeah.
I got an Amanda Gorman book. I got two comic reads, Black History comic books. I got so many great pieces, and he sources all his books.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Shout out to him.
It's really amazing.
And shout out to all the volunteers. I keep saying it, and I'm gonna say it because y'all showed up throughout this whole week, especially for Jubilee. Like when it came down to even there was so much peace on that island, y'all. Like
there really was.
we had a real good time in the heat. You know what I'm saying? Like
you know when you're mad,
you get a little too,
and
and that's all right. But
I was just sweating the entire day. No fan could help.
Yeah,
and I still had a great time.
And we did. We partied. We had a good time. So,
and Governor Shapiro was in the audience.
Yes, he was.
After he had the conversation with us, being able to be amongst the people.
He went out amongst
everybody. Went out, said a couple words and did the whole thing.
Talked to people. He stopped and asked us a question. He did. As a group, as our collaborative group. He said, tell me what you want me to know.
That's right. Tell me what you want me to know. Besides all this that's happening today, what do you want me to know? And sat there and listened, right? And even asked expand on that. What does that mean? Yeah. So and then invited us back to the table. Right. But then I saw that he was walking around and really engaging with the audience. And that's the thing. We had a lot of people that were, officials that were there. Yeah. So being able to provide opportunity even for at our local level, access to that, I thought was really important. And again, we're just very grateful for him being able to come out because he's like, I have to do this, but then I have to jump here and do this and do this and do this.
And he stayed with us for an hour, which is a lot of governor
time.
He did.
It's a lot of governor time. And anytime people take that large amount to be in community with community and not just, an official breakfast or a brunch, but really I'm engaged in this community and then I'm on my way somewhere else. I thought that was really, noble and honorable of him.
And we had candidates there. We had people who are hopefuls. And that is something that goes back to civic engagement.
Yep.
The black vote is not to be taken for granted. The black and brown vote in the city of Harrisburg is not to be taken for granted. It is a 78% black and Hispanic city. And I want to look at this camera and say, the fact that those electeds came out to that event means your vote counts. It matters if it counts, it matters greatly. Because without your votes, those folks, a lot of those Democrats in particular would not be elected. So your vote counts, your vote matters. And they would not be coming to these events where there are gatherings of black people and brown people if your vote did not matter. It matters very much. So take it very seriously with this coming election, no matter who you vote for. We have Republican candidates there. Tim DeFore, who is Auditor General, is a black Republican. We had DeFrancesco there. We had a couple people who are running there. So again, your vote matters. And not only does it matter, but it is yours to wield how you want.
Right.
And it's important that you understand your power in that vote that you have, especially in this upcoming election, because it's not just a presidency. We have stuff up and down the ballot, up and down the municipal, from the state to the regionals that are being voted on. So be intentional about that vote. Come out to vote. Get engaged before the voting. You'll see all kinds of events that are happening. The debate's coming up for the presidential, but there are lots of other things. State senator, and so many other seats are up. So please engage. You're not only does your vote matter, not only does it count, but it is yours to do with it what you want. So make sure you use it. So so we got to Wednesday. Let's get to Thursday, which was Black Performance Arts Night. Black Performance Arts Mashup was beautiful. It was beautiful. shout out to Narcisse Theater for hosting us again, and Frank and Tawan. They do a beautiful job with that. We had a beautiful little VIP setup for our sponsors. We had vendors come out. Shout out to Christian Churches United. Shout out to D's Nuts. Shout out to, literally that's the name of her company. Shout out to, and she does beautiful, like, you know, sugar encrusted pecans, all kinds of great things, and people be eating it. It was so good. People eat it up. Sure. Yeah. Yes. And it was a great night. And I forgot the sister's name. She was at every event. With the beautiful little, her hair was so cute, and she had beautiful clothing and jewelry, and she had styling little mannequin. It was real nice. She was at every single event. She vended the entire week. Wow. So shout out to her. I'll get her name and pop it in the chat. And all of our vendors, we're going to make sure we have links out and everything so that people can continue to patronize them, especially the ones who were selling their goods and things and want to support those businesses. But yeah, BPAM was beautiful. What was your experience with BPAM? Because I know we had to send somebody home so she could rest.
I know, but that's okay. We danced for you.
Yes,
we danced
did.
for
yes,
you.
Yes, yes.
And I think that was the biggest thing for me, right? Is seeing the people dance.
People were dancing.
When I say, I mean, for no reason, they would just hear the beat and they would just get up, and that kind of freedom. Yes. That kind of freedom is the goal, right? Where you are just carefree of the things. Yes, we know that there's stuff going on in the world, but in this moment, all they wanted to do was dance. And if that was enough, you know, to bring you out or to put a smile on your face, then the goal was accomplished. I mean, shout out to every single one of the folks that came out, all the artists that came out, the dancers that came out, the band that came out. I mean, they did their thing. We even got out there and did a little cha-cha slide. We did we did our little merengue, and we had a ball. And again,
Halfway Tree and their food.
Hold on.
First of all, let's just take a moment.
Yeah,
because that's how good the food was. All right? I ain't never had cabbage so good.
I ran that thing back. Wait a minute. I ran that back 2 days in a row. I sure did, because it was that good.
The cabbage alone was something.
Yes.
The cabbage alone. Yes, the food truck. I know.
Yeah.
The oxtail, Maxim.
With the rice.
With the shrimp.
And the shrimp.
Ooh!
Wait, with her sauce?
With the sauce?
With the sauce. I had to go back and get more
Sorry,
sauce.
Anna, we're going to get some for you. Halfway Tree did their thing. Shout out to Halfway Tree. They were there Thursday and Friday, and they did their thing. Yes. That food was amazing. The shrimp was like lightly battered. Yeah. In the orange sauce. Ooh.
And it never got soggy.
Never got soggy.
Y'all know sometimes when the stuff sit in the sauce, it didn't even get soggy.
Nice.
Wow, so how was the event?
It was great. Also, the event was great.
Right, the event was great, but the food, no, the event again.
Shout out to Brazilian Vibes. Yes. Shout out to the Puerto Rican dance troupe. Shout out to Lark and Dwinnerum. Shout out to the band. Who else? Shout out to Dewan's troupe, 99 Characters. They did a comedy show and variety show inside. Yes. They did the split venue again, the inside-outside venue. Great. It was a beautiful night, also hot. It was great. It was great.
And you know, but to that point again, even though it was hot, it was a full house. Full house. In the back.
In the back.
In the back, outside, in the heat. Like, again, that just goes to show you, you know, first of all, the impact, right? Not just the intention along with the action, but the impact that YPOC has been making throughout the entire year, but then also leading up to Juneteenth in that week. And it let us know, I mean, even just sitting back and watching the people fill in and sitting down, they were getting excited. And even though they was out there with their fans, they were ready. You know, and when the show actually started, they were engaged. They were excited about it.
In the heat.
Girl, you know what I mean? Singing and dancing like Beyonce say, all in the heat. You know, and it was a beautiful sight to see.
When the sun finally went behind the building, then we had a blast.
Oh yes.
That sun was beaming. Even at 5.
Yeah.
Even at 5 o'clock.
For sure.
And it's such a nice little corridor. So if you have never been to Narcisse, they open up to this back alley street. I don't know what that street is. And so we had the food truck in the back. And then people were coming from all sides. As soon as they heard that music, they started coming from all sides to participate. People were hanging on the alley like, what's going on? I was like, come on in. So it was also in the community. I think people really enjoyed just being able to discover it too, in addition to people. We had over 115 people sign up for the night, in addition to people who were just walking up to enjoy, which is what I love. I love when people can just walk up and enjoy. Yeah. It was really good.
And Narcisse Theater is, again, one of those spaces that are Black owned.
That's right.
Right? And I think last year when we did it, it was one of the time, like it was monumental.
It was the first show they had at the theater.
It was the first show they had at the theater. Yep. So again, these are spaces, right? So when people are thinking of programming, just being able to reimagine spaces, right? Because they do programming and do other shows throughout the year, yes, right? So if you were interested in the space or the space and the programs and the arts, they have a lot of programming that they do throughout the year. So please go support Narcisse Theater because, you know, these aren't one-offs, right? These aren't just spaces that only have these small events for us and then shut the door. They need to be supported throughout the year, so that when we get to, you know, times when we have these events, they're still up and running, right? So you have a lot of spaces that are not usually utilized throughout the year because we don't know about them or we don't think that we have access to them. But we were in there. We were in there. We can continue to be in there. If you have any, you know, spaces that you want to collaborate with, that's another amazing space. Amazing space to be able to have that. That outdoor space?
Beautiful with the mural in the back.
That outdoor space is a moment. Yeah. So just making sure that you guys, if you love the spaces that you all see throughout the week, being able to jot that down as a real space, right? We don't have to always use the same two spaces and locations. We can really pour back into these spaces, and it's local. So I just enjoy the layout.
Local, buy local, rent local, do all the local things.
Yep.
Well, let me see what time it is. Make sure we're doing good here. Oh, no, we gotta go. Listen, it is time to talk about Friday. Let's go. Last one. Let's go. The block party, the Juneteenth, first of its kind, first of its everything. Juneteenth well, somebody had to stay home and rest, so she's a little salty, but she had to rest. But we got to talk about this Juneteenth Esselma block party. Shout out to our partners, HYP, SB Events. Shout out to Etna, who brought the bus. Period. Who brought the bus. Shout out to the D. Yes. Yeah. Oh, is he up there? Yes, Eric. Eric was amazing. Excuse me, Eric was amazing. He brought the vibes. I love that. Yo, he was amazing. Yeah, I used to work with him. Oh, he was fire. Listen. Shout out to Secret Society Band.
The band. Oh my God. Yes.
The band was phenomenal. Yes. And I feel like that we've brought them a couple times, but this venue, they were really shining in this venue, I think, in a block party setting. It was so easy and nice, and the music, and it was a beautiful night. It was hot, but again, don't think people minded. Yep. Don't think people minded. But the next piece of the resistance within the piece de resistance was the VIP. Eileen. I cannot, and everybody, whether you were actually VIP or not, everybody got to experience it, because when she went in for the wine tasting with Mark and Val Wines, first Black-owned winery in Pennsylvania. Wow. Right to the right, you can see the Juneteenth sign. We're gonna have some pictures of that online. And then right past there, snacks, and we had coquito, and we had everything in there, and people were just enjoying. People were really enjoying themselves, and I hope our sponsors felt special for funding this whole week and making it free for the community. You know, these things cost money. Every event, whether we realize it or not, has a huge cost. Yeah. People cost, traveling cost, all these different costs. And so to see the block party come together with the help of so many amazing people, I'm so thankful. You were there. I know you weren't. I know you didn't get to go.
I'm just actively listening.
Yes.
You were there in spirit.
In spirit.
Yeah. No, that block party again. Y'all showed up. Y'all showed off. Y'all showed out. It was something. And again, the collective energy and camaraderie of the community itself. It was people came that intentionally wanted to be a part, and then there was some people that was just walking by like, well, what's going on? This? And they just so happened to just stay. I mean, there were so many different elements. I mean, you could take pictures. We had the picnic vendors that was there. We had cigars, you know, the cigar area for folks to be able, to be able to like partake in that. So You know, I think we gave a little bit of something for every age group, just within, not just in all week, but just within that one event. You know, we definitely had something for everybody to enjoy.
Maddox's daughter dancing up a storm in the front.
Listen, and
Our
that was
dancing
another
star.
thing.
She's
Yes,
a
the
dancing star.
babies.
Yes, they did. The kids had fun.
Yes, they
at
did.
the block party. They danced
Yes,
in
they
the front the whole
did.
night.
Yes, they did.
And then we had our moment. We had our moment at the end.
You know
with Kendrick's Not Like Us. So we had our own little moment. You know, we knew the concert had just happened. We knew the vibes. Song has been sweeping the country, and we had our own little moment with that.
Yes.
So that was fire too. A couple of y'all got that on camera. If you got the video, send it to me. Okay.
Yes.
The DJ got it. Eric got it. So shout out to Eric for getting that for us. Appreciate you. But it was a beautiful night, and we ended at about 9:15, 9:20. And people you could feel the expectancy. Like, you could just feel like people were like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And we were like, we're going home. But we did go out a little bit, but it was just so nice to have something so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Where all of Harrisburg was just outside enjoying. People I hadn't seen outside in months were like, I came outside just for this. I came outside just for this. We had someone say about the concert too, I came outside just for the concert, and I do not regret it. And that's the vibe. We want people to enjoy. We want people to feel like, you know, if I literally pop out for something like this, that I'm gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
And that's the vibes. So,
I think we got that all week long too.
We did.
I think everyone that came to each and every event, they were able to pull a little bit of something to take home with them, but collectively, it's like the memories that we create, and I was actually gonna write this as a post, the memories that we create are the legacies that we leave.
Absolutely right.
You know, and we're able, and I believe that the memories that we created through the Juneteenth HBG week, that's the legacy that we're leaving for our community.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're letting them know, look, this is yours. It's yours to own. It's yours to be a part of, you know, and this is always going to be here as long as you want it.
That's right.
As long as you want it.
As long as you guys want it, we're here. And it is legacy building work, like April says. This is not just us trying. People say, oh, YPOC is just doing this for clout. And I say, we are creating the clout. We're creating the opportunities. We are creating the things. And we're proud now. It's hard work. But we're proud to be able to leave this legacy for the community. We want this to be something that is always here. I remember when we first started doing this, the first couple of years, we had old heads come and say, listen, we used to have Juneteenth celebrations back in the day, but we ain't never had nothing like this. Now, when the old heads are telling you that, then you know something's going on. And so I'm proud of us. I'm proud of the work that we've accomplished. And I'm very proud. Any last words, ladies?
I would just say thank you to the sponsors. We are hopeful that you all can see the return on investment so that when we come back around and ask for your support,
we're coming. Oh, yes.
that you guys are ready to invest again and to see this grow in such a phenomenal way. You know, kudos to YPOC for kind of, you know, taking lead on Juneteenth events in the city, right? So certainly Juneteenth doesn't belong to us, but our history is for all of us to have responsibility in making sure that it's anchored in the city. Right. So I think that my takeaway to the community is don't let things like this be a one-off. Like, yes, Juneteenth is a specific date in the year, but you know, those vendors are working all year.
Yes, they are.
Those spaces exist all year. Yes, those panelists are looking for work all year, right? Even as a part of our committee, right? If you are looking for program managers and Eileen who does like hospitality and things like that, if we get to not only showcase a week's worth of activities, but we get to showcase a week's worth of leadership.
That's right.
And the people in the community that do this work every single day who happen to come together for a week.
That's right.
But let's not lose sight on the fact that we've always had amazing vendors. Yeah. We always have amazing opportunities for arts to be showcased. There's always someone looking for an opportunity to be a part of programming. People, you know, have these livelihoods where they do the work, like hospitality, program manager, all of these different things, consultants. So part of this continued work to make Juneteenth not a one-off is to support year-round, right? See how you can pick the brains of the Kimekas, the Aprils, how to coordinate stuff, you know, Power Choice Production, if they're doing something all year, if you need something put together. So this is about us extending this one experience that we've had throughout the week and seeing how we can just keep this momentum going so that Juneteenth doesn't just feel like an isolated thing. Anytime you take DEI as an isolated thing, it's not embedded in the work that you do. Yeah. So part of it is continuing to reach out, reach back, reach across, to utilize all of the amazing people that we had the blessing of being able to invest in all week. So use us, pay us.
Use us and pay us. Thank you.
Invest in us.
I just want to take a moment. Yep, absolutely. I just want to take a moment to shout out our sponsors real fast. So we're going to start with our partners, and in particular, shout out to Handles and Samson Entertainment for always holding us down with our arts and our entertainment broker. We're appreciative of Chris Franklin. Conrad stepped up this year, helped us so much. Thank you, Conrad Lewis. We're always shouting out Blue Sampson as well. Shout out to Dauphin County.
Yes.
Came through in a big way for us, and we are so appreciative. And also shout out to Aetna. Aetna came through in a big way for us as well.
All week.
Shout out to, Voices Underground, which is our partner that does the Juneteenth, the Journey Towards Freedom grant for Juneteenth, that administers Juneteenth in Pennsylvania grant. Shout out to the state of Pennsylvania and Voices Underground. Highmark, shout out to you. Hamilton Health Center, shout out to you. We already shouted out our Auditor General and Honorary Chair, but we're going to shout him out again because he did such a great job. iHeartRadio, WITF, keep clapping. PSECU, Tech Connect, Penn Live, TFEC, Harrisburg University, UPMC Health Plan, Penn State College of Medicine, the Pennsylvania Legislative Black Caucus, Giant, Capital, McNeese, Members First, Harrisburg Regional Chamber and Cretic, the libraries, right? Dauphin County Library System, AmeriHealth Caritas, Zero Day, big sponsors. Visit Hershey Harrisburg, HYP, Fulton Bank, Penn State Health, Harris Town, Rotary, Keystone Business Alliance, Harrisburg Academy, Serenity Wellness, AAA, Little Amps, Harrisburg Housing Authority, and a few others. So, without those sponsors, we would have not had that week. Without this collaborative, we would have not had that week. So we are thankful. We are so thankful. We're going to end on a good note. April, I'm going to let you have the last word because you be saying good words. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out again to everybody from YPOC, everybody that was a part of the collective across the board, whether you were a volunteer or a chair, it didn't matter what position you were in. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And again, if you want to be a part of this collective, if you want to learn more, get out to the YPOC website, become a member, get involved, bring your ideas to the forefront and get a part of this conversation, because if you're not a part of it, we can't do the work that we're doing. So we need you. We need you to be here. We need you to step up. And if you want to be a part of the committees, make sure you get on the website and just see what's out there for you. And there is a fit for everyone. There is something for everyone to do. And guess what? If there ain't no chair, we'll create one for you. Because don't think that we won't. We'll create one for you. So, okay. But no, I just again, shout out to you, Kimeka. Thank you so much for your vision. You, Basir, with your vision. Shout outs to all of the core team, Anna and Elise, for doing y'all's thing. Yanni, y'all are phenomenal leaders in this community. So may you be fortified in grace and love so you can keep going to do the work, and just know we are your armor bearers. We got your back. Thank you, baby.
She was saying some words sometimes. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Black News Beat tonight. As I say at the end of the show, love on yourselves. Clap for yourselves. If it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. And we'll see you next show. We will see you. We did it! Victory lap! We're very excited. And we will see you next show. We'll see you in a few weeks. Good night.
You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound.